Okay, we are up at the top of the scaffolding of the rig with Ryan Thompson of Mountain Air Engineering. And check out, this is that boom that I was showing in the other video. And Ryan, you want to explain to us a little bit about what's going on here?
Okay, yeah. So we're doing the emission test. We're measuring the emissions. So we have the probe out there that's in the plume, and I can move the probe around as the wind's going to blow the plume around, and I move the probe to keep it in the plume. And so the sensor box is over here, and this has vacuum pumps on it, and it's drawing a sample from the end of the probe, from the nozzle into the instrument, and there's several sample trains. And so here on the probe, here are filter holders where we're collecting particulate matter samples to determine the mass concentration and the composition.
And that's these guys right here?
Yeah, these white filter holders.
Cool.
This is a cyclone, a particle separator to remove the larger particles. And then in the sensor box, there's a bunch of sensors to measure the gases.
So these are it's going down these pipes, well, these tubes really, yeah, into the magic box over here.
Yeah, and so we're measuring carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, volatile organic compounds, sulfur dioxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, and then in the yellow box in the back is absorption spectrometer that's measuring methane, and it's all being run off the batteries, and that's about it.
That's just about it. Well, okay, and so let's see how you move that boom around. And so you've got it counterweighted, so you're not killing yourself here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, thanks for giving us the tour of that. And this is day 2. And so you spent day 1, you were doing a bunch of calibration. And I remember watching you take a bunch of, this was going, some of this was going not in this setup, but you were doing a bunch of work on that first day before we started igniting to get a baseline,
yeah,
if I'm remembering that right. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
Well, yeah, I did a gas calibration the first day, so I just ran the instrument and calibrated all the sensors and checked their calibration. And then we were doing 2 burns, and then later today when we finish this burn, I'll do another calibration to just a quality control check to see how much the sensors drifted. Yeah.
And then you're taking the samples that we cut off of all of the different batches and diameters, and you're taking that back to your lab. You're going to be drying them out completely to get all the moisture out. Then what happens?
Yeah, and then also be sending samples to another lab to determine the composition, determine the carbon content, both of the fuel, the feedstock in, and the char out. So we're going to do a carbon balance to know how much carbon went in, and then how much carbon was left in the char, and then the difference is what the carbon that was emitted. And then what I'm measuring is what form is that carbon in? Is it carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide or methane? Where I'm measuring the emission ratios to determine what form the carbon was that was emitted.
That is so cool. And so we're gonna have this awesome test. We're gonna have all this data. And the thing I have to tell you is that up here you really get the most amazing view of the kiln. And look at it. So Ryan gets to be up at this perch all day as he's gathering his data that we're going to be using to figure out a little bit more about how burning these different feedstocks changes the emissions and how it changes the biochar yield that we're going to get from these different feedstocks in these real-life situations here in Tunk Valley, beautiful Okanagan County.